TGIF, everybody, and welcome to the Uplift. I am recording tonight from my non-influencer kitchen. In other words, very small, modern man, just the average Joe. And I want to talk to you about something special, about feeling like an average Joe compared to everything that we see in media, and ways that we can kind of lift our spirit and lift our positivity when we compare ourselves to other people. Um, it all started with a book. And full disclosure, it was a book that was co-authored with collaboration among his peers by my friend Todd M. Casey. And Todd M. Casey also happens to be married to my goddaughter. So that makes him highly liked instantly. But despite that relationship, he is an excellent, exquisite, and very gifted painter. Uh, and he collaborated on the book that you probably saw advertised on Instagram, Cocktails, A Still Life. Now, the subtitle is really what it's all about: 60 spirited paintings and recipes. When Todd gave me this book, I, of course, was at once blown over because of his tremendous success. And I wanted a copy because it was just a way of celebrating him every day in my house. But when I really sat in the quiet of what was going on in my world, and I opened the pages and read the most engaging text about the history of the cocktails and the recipes and why certain ingredients were used. It was really fun and really educational, and it made the art of the cocktail seem like something that I really wanted to regard in a different way. Now, let's just hold the phone. You don't have to imbibe in alcohol to enjoy a Friday night. I'm going to downshift. I'm going to get into my comfortable gear. I'm going to sit on the sofa and binge Netflix, or I'm going to change my clothes and go out with my friends and have a blast, or I'm going to take my boyfriend or girlfriend, or I'm going to take my husband and I'm going to spend some quality time with them because we've got a couple days ahead of us that are just our own. When I opened this book, the thought process for this podcast came to life because I looked at the cover and I said, wow, my drinks don't look like that, but they can. There is a inherent sexiness to the cocktails in this book. There's an inherent class and sophistication. And what grabbed me is the fact that the barware that Todd features in his paintings is absolutely exquisite. And I sat and said to myself, what is stopping me from escalating my experience the way that book demonstrates it? In other words, let's say Friday night is pizza night. You're coming home. You're with your tribe. What does your kitchen look like? I want you to stop and close your eyes and think about that for a sec. Is there cardboard? Are there paper plates? Are there the napkins that the pizza parlor gives you? Are there brown paper bags with those great grease marks on them? That, by the way, is very home to me. That's how I grew up. That symbolizes a feeling of comfort and familiarity for me. Those bags with the grease marks, I'm not knocking them. But what I'm posing to you is on a Friday night when we can see the horizon for a little bit in front of us, when we can feel kind of like, okay, I'm in my groove of my own for a couple more days. How do you honor yourself? How do you carve out that me time? And it's hard. It's hard. I, my kids are grown. If you're on this and you have kids, if you're on this and you have a partner that works a different shift than you do, if you have your mom or your dad living with you, if you're a caregiver of someone, carving out time for yourself is not such an easy task. So, what are the ways that we can elevate our experience within this little modest kitchen, within this little modest lifestyle that I have, that you may have, compared to everything that we see online that we say, wow, I'm really far behind the eight ball. I don't live like that. The steps to do that are really simple. It's making the choice between a plastic cup or one of your old Mickey Mouse glasses that you always use to drink your Diet Coke out of, and maybe putting it in something special instead. Maybe looking in your cabinet for a beautiful rainbow crystal piece and saying, you know what? I'm going to have my 7 Up in this tonight. I'm going to upscale and level up and celebrate. I'm going to light a little candle and make an experience of my own. And when I do that, I'm going to use a really nice cocktail napkin too. I'm going to level up my experience, escalate the feeling that I have about myself and my surroundings on any Friday night, no matter what I'm doing. Things of that nature take you very far, because what starts as cooking in the kitchen becomes cooking in the kitchen by candlelight. I set a vibe for myself when I cook because I love to cook, and I don't have a fancy kitchen. I'm not provided with chef like appliances, but I enjoy cooking because that's how I show love to the people that I share my home with, to my family members that come back home to visit, uh, to my friends that come over. So when I'm concocting, whatever simple thing I'm concocting, I have the wireless speaker on in the background. I have this candle display going. I feel like I'm somewhere doing something in my own little magical kind of candlelit world. And that's a feeling I want you to concentrate on this weekend, no matter when it is. It doesn't have to be Friday, it doesn't have to be cocktails and conversations. It could be tomorrow morning, you have your coffee in the most exquisite cup that you have. You dig it out from under that stuff that you got for your wedding or that your mom or your grandma gave you. And you said, you know what? I'm going China today because I deserve it. And then sit someplace quiet and look out the window and elevate the opportunity you have to drink in the world. Escalate the way you respond to things, and the world will escalate to meet you. Dress up your life where you can, because we don't have a lot of time, and tomorrow is not promised. The days are not coming back. So if you can make that slice of heaven inside your very modest walls, then you will be happy, my friend. Now, it even gets even more elevated. My daughter and I and one of my friends recently went to a speakeasy in Manhattan, and there the bartenders treated the drinks as if they were designing them in gold leaf. And they actually took squares of ice and made, these spheres that are so popular, these ice spheres. I watched one of them at the bar actually carve a square of ice into that sphere, into that ball before he placed it into a drink. And it was an experience. And there were candles, and there were people staring at this bartender and the loving craft that he put into it. And that's kind of where I think I'm leading us this Friday night, to be very aware of what we do, how we do it, and how we could make it better and more special for us to enjoy. So often we worry about how we're going to make things special for other people or our visitors or our guests or our holiday attendees. Your goal tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, your homework, if you need some, go to the store tomorrow, pick out the most exquisite glass you can find to enjoy any kind of beverage in, whether it's a mocktail, whether it's a Diet Coke, whatever it is. Grab yourself a little votive candle and pick out a spot to celebrate you this weekend. You won't be sorry that you did. So, to end this beautiful book of mine, that I hope that you'll look into too, because wouldn't it be fun if we did a series and we each made a different cocktail that we've never had before? I am going to end with Todd's and my favorite. By the way, this is my most favorite painting of his, absolutely exquisite, with the classic Dirty Martini with a sphere inside of it. I hope this inspires you to be better than you've ever been on any other Friday. Stay well, stay safe until we meet each other again, and tune in tomorrow for a whole different vibe on Saturday on the Uplift. Cheers.